Hello, my name is Rovel Gaither and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today on my channel, I have a full-length process video for you guys all the way from start to finish of me producing these bags. And I normally never film my content this way, but I wanted to bring you guys along on the entire process from start to finish and what it takes me to actually make these bags, all the way to conceptualizing the idea, to sketching it out, pattern making and everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and show the bags that I make in this video and talk about it. So let's do that. So with these bags, I really wanted to challenge myself and play around with a new textile and just kind of add in some new elements that I've never done before in bag making. So these are the bags that I make in this video. Like, look at this beauty. She is freaking gorgeous. So I used faux fur with these bags and it just looks so amazing. It has brass hardware detailing. It doesn't really have too much brass hardware detailing. It has the rivets on the back of the flap and you can't really see it on here, but I did a rivet on here, but the fur is kind of covering it. So it has fur detailing all along the strap and handle of the bag. It has it on the front and back exteriors, and it also has it along the entire gusset of the bag. So it's really amazing. It has a really nice curved fur detailing. I also did a fur backing to my nameplate and it just looks so dope. I love these bags so much. It was really a challenge to make, but I love that it was a challenge. I make 2 of these bags in this video and I take you guys along on the full process to me getting the fabric, cutting it out, shaving it down, doing everything, drawing the bags. I take you guys along on this whole process and I'm so excited. I hope you guys like this new style. Let me know down below in the comments what you think about these bags, about this style of doing the video, if you guys like the full process or not. So yeah, I hope you guys like this video. Make sure to give it a big thumbs up, leave a comment down below, let me know what you think, and let's get into the video. All right, so today is January 9th. It is Monday, and I'm gonna make this disclaimer. Please ignore this mark on my face. I know it looks really nasty. I had a pimple that was forming, and I normally never get pimples, but when I do, they form in really ugly places, and I don't think having a pimple on the side of my lip is attractive. So I popped it, and it left this really ugly mark, and I made it worse than what it was. I should have just left it alone, but that's why I have this weird thing on my face. So please ignore that. Anyways, so today I'm kind of excited because I'm trying this new, different way of taking you guys along on a process. So today I have to do a few errands. I have to drop off a package to the post office for an order that I got yesterday, and then I have to go to Joann's and Hobby Lobby. And the reason why I'm going to Joann's is because I want to find a nice faux fur fabric, and I'm also going to Hobby Lobby too, just because I have to get something and I'm going to look there too for faux fur. But I want to do a nice bag with like faux fur accents on it, and I've been wanting to do this for a while. And I feel like Joann's would have a pretty good selection of faux fur. Hopefully they do. I don't know, child. I haven't looked for faux fur in a long time. I don't have any design idea. I kind of see something in my head, but I don't know. I don't have anything set in stone. I haven't drawn anything, haven't sketched anything out. I'm gonna get the fabric and then design around that, which I normally never design like this. But I kind of just want to challenge myself today. So I'm going to go to the post office. I have to go to Hobby Lobby because I need to get some muslin fabric for the dust bags, for the new bags that I just dropped like 3 days ago, the messenger bags, because I haven't made duster bags for those. And then I'm going to Joann's to look for the fabric. And if I don't find anything at Joann's, I'm gonna look at Hobby Lobby and hopefully I can find something, because I'm looking for like a brownish tannish type faux fur, and I want to use like maybe a dark blue denim. So hopefully I can find something that's good quality that kind of looks like that. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to Joann's first. Even though Hobby Lobby is closer, I'm just going to go to Joann's first because again I feel like they would have a better selection. So that's what I'm going to do. And yeah, I'm super excited. Hopefully I'm not nervous vlogging in public because it's my first time doing this, child. So we're gonna see, but let's get going. Okay, so I'm in Joann's. I might be talking a little low because this is my first time vlogging in public and I'm kind of nervous. So I'm walking to wherever they keep their fur fabrics at, which I want to say is maybe over here. I think I found something already. Oh my gosh, this is actually kind of cute. I mean, it looks a little cheapish though. Okay, they also have this one. Oh no, I think I kind of like this one though. Maybe if I could like cut it down to, this is actually kind of nice. Okay, so I picked up this one, but look at this freaking price. This is $50 a yard. I don't know about that one, Buki. They have some on the other side, so I'm gonna go look. Alright, so I got the tan color for, I did spend a little bit of a pretty penny, but I'm glad that they did have that 40% off, because one thing about it, I'm going to use that 40% off the full price item. And so I'm still going to go to Hobby Lobby, because again, I have to go get some muslin, and I'm going to look there again. Even though I already have this fur, I'm going to look and see if they have something there. And I have this one, but if I use this one, I'm going to buy some clippers and kind of shave this down a little bit, because I don't like how long it is. I feel like it cheapens it up a little bit. So I want to shave this down, because I originally didn't have this long of faux fur in my mind. So I'm gonna go probably get some clippers if I don't find anything at Hobby Lobby, and then shave this down a little bit. So that's what I'm gonna do. So let's go to Hobby Lobby. Okay, so I'm in Hobby Lobby. They changed where everything is around, so I have to find where the fur is. I don't know where anything is. Normally the fur is like back on the other shelf. Okay, here it is. I don't like any of this. Okay, I'm glad I went to Joann. All right, so it is the next day. I literally just finished making the 2 duster bags that I had to make from the muslin that I got yesterday at Hobby Lobby. And I'm gonna start sketching up a few designs. I have an idea kind of in my head for what I kind of want to go with for these bags. So I want to go with like a hobo shoulder bag type vibe. I don't want to do anything too crazy, and I'm not going to use the fur for like actual pieces on, well, I'm going to use the fur, but I want to use it as like little decorative accent pieces. I don't want to actually have fur front and back pieces and stuff like that. I want to use it for like little detailing. So the bag's going to be denim, but it's going to have fur detailing, and I have an idea in my head. I think it's going to be so dope, and I'm just really excited. So I'm going to kind of show the fur and like the color denim I want to go with, so you can kind of see like the vibe, because these colors look so freaking good together. Like, it's amazing. So this is the fur right here. I'm not taking it out of this bag, because the way that the person at the counter cut the fabric, they cut through the back lining in the fur, so it sheds everywhere when I pick this up. So I'm leaving it in the bag, but I want to use this kind of like dark bluish denim and then have this accent on here. Now with this fur, I'm definitely gonna have to shave this down to get it to a lower fur pile. I think that's what it's called, because I do not want it this long. It's way too long, so I'm gonna have to buy some clippers and shave that down. But this is kind of the dark blue denim that I want to use, and then I want to use this thread color right here. Now it might not all look, you know, it might not look put together, but I'm telling you, this is gonna be so dope. So I'm about to start sketching out some designs, getting kind of like my ideas out onto paper and figure out what I want to do. So that's what I'm about to do, and I never showed this process either, so it's kind of new and exciting. So I'm gonna start sketching, and yeah. All right, so this is future me doing a voiceover. So now I'm doing my sketches, and I already kind of had an idea in my head of what I wanted. So all the sketches that I did kind of look the same, because I was trying to get my idea that I had in my head out onto paper. The final product that I actually ended up making was a little bit different compared to the final sketch that I did. I tweaked it a little bit, took out a few things, added a few things. So I just wanted to let y'all know, I normally don't sketch this way. It's normally me just sketching out whatever's in my head, several different ideas, but this was kind of the same idea over and over, which was really only 3 times. But yeah, I just wanted to say that. All right, so it's been about 30 minutes, and I did these 3 drawings. They pretty much all look the same, but they're all a tad different. This was the last one I recently just did, and I like this one more. I think I'm kind of gonna go with this one. So this right here is gonna be the fur detailing stitched onto the actual denim, and this is gonna be my nameplate right here. This part's going to be denim, and then it's gonna have a fur layer underneath there, and then this is gonna be the flap, has the fur on the exterior, and I'm thinking about also doing fur kind of around the gusset right there. And then this is the strap. So with the strap, I want it to kind of be fur, and then on the top of the strap stitch denim on it, and underneath, if that makes sense, just to kind of tie everything together. I'm gonna go and Procreate on my iPad and digitize it and kind of draw everything out so it'll look a little bit better and you can kind of see what's going on. So I'm about to start drawing on my iPad. I like to just sketch on paper first and then take a photo and then insert it into Procreate, because I draw way better on paper. So I'm about to do that, and yeah. Okay, so now I'm in my iPad on Procreate, which is literally the only reason why I bought this iPad. I love Procreate for digitizing all of my designs. It's just such a huge time saver, and I think I can get a little bit more realistic with my designs and colors and things like that. So when I use Procreate, I do use brushes that I downloaded on the internet. So I use a Denim pack, and then for this one, I also use some fur brushes just to kind of get a more realistic idea of what my bag's gonna look like. And if you're wondering why I'm kind of coloring outside of the lines, with a lot of these brushes that I use, you have to do everything in one stroke. Like you can't lift the pencil and go down, or it'll just look really weird. So I have to do everything in one stroke and then erase the areas where I don't want it to be. So this is just me doing the digitizing, and I love using Procreate. It's amazing. Alright, so I went ahead and finished kind of sketching off camera, but this is kind of what we have so far. I changed it up a little bit. I took the fur, ignore my light above my iPad screen, it's being annoying, but I took the fur off of the little flap because I thought it was just too much and it was kind of annoying. But then this is like kind of the piping that I want to use around. It's like a canvas color tan. It's not the same exact color, I think, but it'll look really cool together. So this is this one. I did a few iterations just to kind of see what I would like. So this is if the strap was denim and then had the fur accents, and then this was if I just did the strap denim, and then this is the one that I think I'm gonna go with though. I think I love this, especially the details on the handle. I think it's gonna be amazing. So I'm probably gonna do this. I just really need to figure out how I'm going to do this, because I'm not gonna be hemming the edges of the fur because I don't think that would work. I don't know how top stitching will look on it, and I just don't know how any of this is gonna work. So I guess I would like just figure out testing and testing the pattern, how these things are going to work and manage around that. But this is kind of what I have so far, what I'm going with. I think the interior I want to do like a off-white creamish color because that's kind of the only color I have that I think would look good. So this is what it's looking like, and yeah. All right, so it's the next day. I kind of went ahead and went back on one of the other designs, and I'm gonna go with that one instead, just because last night after I finished sketching up some stuff and I was looking over all the sketches and I was actually thinking about like how I was gonna produce these bags, I realized that having the handle be fur and then the denim on top of that just wasn't gonna work. So I'm going to do the denim strap and then have the fur on top of that. So I drew that out, and then I'll show you what it looks like because I drew that one out as well. It looks pretty dope. It's gonna have the fur detailing, and I also changed the color of the stitching. I'm gonna do an off-white cream stitching instead of the goldish color. And then the strap is gonna be denim, and it's gonna have the fur on top of the strap, and I'm gonna do rivets on top of the fur. I think it's gonna look super dope. I hope it don't look tacky or crazy, but this is what I'm going with. So today I'm going to pattern make, which I'm going to film that as well. Probably not going to film all of it, but like some parts and stuff. So I'm going to start pattern making today. I normally do not pattern make on camera. That's just not something that I do because I just feel like that part, it's a long process and it's just boring to watch all of it. So today I'm going to start that, and I might even test the pattern today. I bought this natural color denim that I'm going to use to test the pattern out and everything. And I just hope this turns out good. I mean, again, it's a simple shape bag. It's nothing too crazy. It's really just a detail that's gonna make the bag pop. So I've made a hobo pattern twice now. It's gonna be my third time doing this. This one's a little bit different than both of those ones. So I'm excited. So I'm gonna go ahead, start pattern making, and I'll show y'all a little bit of that. All right, so it's been a few hours later. I did majority of the patterning off camera just because I was doing too much. And I didn't feel like having the camera in my face all the time, but I made the pattern pieces for the flap. This is the fur outline that my name's gonna be on, gusset, handle, all that stuff. And then I have the front and back piece, which is just the template pretty much. And I also went ahead and made this template for where I'm going to punch the holes where the fur should hit on the front and back pieces so that I know exactly where they're supposed to be lined up at. So really everything's pretty much done. I just made the pattern piece for the zipper pocket and slip pocket that's going to be on the interior. So now what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm just going to, anything that needs to have seam allowance added to it, I'm going to add it on, which I mostly did all the seam allowance. Again, I did patterning off camera, but I'm going to go ahead and take my Sharpie and just go over it, outline everything, and then cut it out so that I can actually have the pattern pieces. And yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And I don't know if I'm going to test the pattern today or tomorrow. I'll see how I'm feeling, but yeah, I'm about to do that. So let's do that. Also, my messy table down there, we don't pay attention to that, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start outlining this. All right, so it's the next day. I went ahead and finished cutting out my pattern pieces, and I also just went ahead and cut out my test pattern pieces off camera. So these are the pieces that I'm going to use to sew my test piece up, just to test the pattern, make sure everything's right. I have all the pieces. I even did a name tag and everything because I want to see what everything is going to look like. So we have the pieces. This is not the fur, but this is pretty much what the fur is going to be made out of on an actual piece that I'm going to sew on here. It's really just to kind of get an idea of the shape, size, make sure the pattern works correctly and what it's going to look like. So I'm going to go ahead and sew this together, and that's what you guys are going to see. So let's do that. All right, so I finished sewing up the sample. It honestly took me like maybe an hour, and it looks a little, it's gonna look different when it's actually the actual fabric and interfacing, because this is just denim. It's not interfaced, no anything, so it doesn't have any shape to it. I kind of stuffed it to give it a little bit of shape, but the pattern sews together amazing. I messed up a little bit on the piping, but don't pay attention to that. It looks a mess because you can't really see. I'll try it on so you can kind of see, even though it's just so slouchy. But this is how it looks on. She looks really good. She's nice. So the actual fabric will be stiffer because it'll be interfaced and it's going to be an actual bag. This is just an interface fabric. But everything sews together nicely. It hits all the areas it's supposed to. Everything looks good. And the only thing I think I would want to change is maybe make the strap a little bit longer, because I know the actual bag is going to have shape and interface and it's not going to slouch this much. So it might be a little bit shorter because it's not going to slouch in. So I might add maybe like 2 more inches to the strap. But other than that, it looks really good. So now what I'm going to do is I need to go to Walmart. And the reason why I'm going to go to Walmart is because I need to get clippers to shave the fur down. Because like I said, I don't want the fur to be as long as it is. So I'm going to go get some clippers so that I can shave it down and then do that. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to take the camera to Walmart because the Walmart by me is just, I always run into people that I know there and I just don't feel like vlogging in there. So I'm gonna go get clippers and then I'll be back. So yeah. All right, so I'm back from the store. I picked up the clippers. I paid $30 for these clippers, and it sucks because I'm probably not gonna be able to return it after I use them because this fur is probably gonna get all in the clippers. So, but these are the clippers I got. I wanted to get a good quality type of clippers, so I got these ones. It seems really heavy duty and good quality, and it comes with a bunch of different length guards and stuff. So I'm gonna cut out a little test piece of the fur and then kind of shave it down just to test it out and see what length I'm desiring and what I'm gonna like. So I know through the videos that I watched, they say you want to start with a longer blade, so you don't want to cut too much. You want to cut little by little because you don't want to start cutting too much at first. So I'm gonna plug these in and see how powerful they are. But these seem like really good quality clippers, honestly. I'm not that worried about it. It feels really good in my hand, so I'm about to plug it in and test it. All right, it's plugged in. Let's turn this mugger on. Oh, okay, I didn't know you do that. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, no, these seem like really good clippers. So I don't know why I'm excited to do this, but I'm gonna cut out a square and then test that and see how that goes. So I know it's probably gonna make a huge mess. And I also know from the videos that I watched that I have to wear a mask because the plastic particles of the fur, you don't want to inhale that. It's not good for you. So I'm gonna get a mask, all that stuff. So let's do that. All right, so I have my little square piece of fur cut. So I'm gonna figure out which guard I wanna use. Again, I wanna start the one that's gonna cut the least off first. So I'm gonna try the 3/4 one first. We're gonna try this one first and then go down as I see fit. And I'm pretty familiar with clippers. I cut my own hair. I've been cutting my own hair for a few years now, so let me not forget to put this mask on. And I also saw in the video, sorry if I sound a little muffled, I have my mask on, that you want to go cutting downwards. You don't want to cut against the fur because you'll get uneven cuts that way. So I'm kind of nervous, but let's go ahead and do this. Hopefully don't make too much of a mess. Okay, hold on. Okay, that's barely doing anything, so we're definitely gonna need a lower one. Okay, so I'm just gonna go with no guard at this point and see what happens. Okay, this length actually isn't that bad. All right, so I just cut another piece and went ahead and trimmed it down. So I did actually end up using a guard on this one. I think this is the 1/8 inch guard that I ended up using, and it actually worked pretty good. So this is how I'm gonna end up doing it. This is perfect. It's not too short, but it's still like short enough to where it's not how it was before. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know if it looks different on camera than in person, but I love how this one looks. Just giving 30-inch bust down bundles. Like, come on now, you see the Brazilian. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting all of the other fabric this way because I love this. This is perfect. This is exactly how I want it. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting all of it. Kind of nervous, but I'm excited. So hopefully I don't mess this up because again, this fabric was expensive. Yeah, let's start doing that. All right, so I cleared off my whole table just to make room for cutting everything. So I'm just gonna do it in sections because the whole thing of fur doesn't fit on the table. So I'm just gonna start on this section, and then once I do it, pull it over and then do the other half. That's really it. I'm just gonna start cutting this. So first I'm gonna comb it out just to get everything going the right way, and then I'm gonna start cutting. So let's get into that. All right, so I went ahead and finished cutting the fur down. So this is what it's looking like. It kind of looks ugly on camera. I don't know why. I think it's the lighting. It looks really bad. It looks a lot better in person. I did not do all of it because I just did not want to. So this is how it looked before originally, and then this is what it looks like now. So you can definitely see a difference. It's a lower cut. And I love the feel of it. It just feels so nice and soft. This is the little bucket right here that I have that I was dumping all of the shavings into. It's a lot. Ooh, it's getting all in the air. But yeah, so I cut the fur. Everything's looking pretty good. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and maybe just start pre-production and cutting all the fur pieces out that I'm gonna need and just get that done now today so that I don't have to really worry about working with the fur until it's time to sew. Just knock all the fur stuff out now. So I think I'm gonna do that. I might not even film me doing that because I feel like filming me cutting it out is just gonna kind of stress me out. It's gonna be a little bit too much because I feel so almost claustrophobic. It's claustrophobic, the word, in my room right now because it's just really no space. It's too much going on. So I'm probably not gonna film me doing that, but I'll check back in and show y'all that. So this is the fur. So it's been a while since I last filmed. I've been cutting out the fur, but I just kind of want to show you a little bit of what I've been having to deal with when cutting my fur. So as you can see, this is, hold on, let me flip this so I can see. So as you can see, this is a piece of the fur for the front piece, but it does not look like it's curving at all because the fur is covering the curves a little bit. This one naturally isn't that bad, but after I comb it, this is now what it looks like. I wish I could show you it laying down, but you can't see from this angle. So since the fur is kind of covering the curves and I want it to have that natural curve look because that's part of the design, I've been having to pretty much taper fade these fur edges on here. So that's what I've been doing. And I don't know if you can see, but the curve looks a lot better on that side after doing that. Now I gotta do this side. Perfect. Sorry for the lighting, it might look a little bad right here, but now you can see it has that curved look that it needs to have. And I do have to finish off this bottom. I have to cut off the bottom because I don't want it to look like that. So I've been cutting the bottoms to look like that, flat. So I'm gonna go ahead and do all the other ones off camera, but I just wanted to check in and show you pretty much what I've been dealing with. So it's been a few days later. Please ignore my messy table back there, but I have everything finally cut out. So all of the fur pieces, all of the actual denim pieces, lining, and then like my nameplates and name tags and stuff like that. So honestly, it took me a really long time to cut out all the fur because again, I could only cut through the backing of this because when you cut faux fur, you don't want to actually just take scissors and cut through. You have to cut through the backing so you make the least amount of mess that you can make possibly, because faux fur, it gets everywhere. It's really messy. It's even messy when you do cut through the back, but it's not as messy as if you were to just fully cut through it. So now what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I need to start interfacing my denim. And I don't know if I want to go with like a really stiff bag. I think I might go with that. I think that would just be best to go with a stiff bag. I'm gonna start interfacing this and doing all that, and I'll probably check back in after I have everything interfaced, and then from there it will pretty much be production because everything's cut out. So really all I have to do is just interface this and then press this stuff, hem those edges, and then everything's ready to start sewing in production. Of course I have to figure out zippers, get hardware, put the hardware in and all that type of stuff, but this is where I'm at so far, so I'll check back in. All right, so it is the next day. It is now Monday, January 16th. So I'm finally starting actual production today. I'm sewing, starting that. I loaded up all my bobbins and everything, and sorry if my voice sounds a little raspy. I had went out Friday night with my friends and my voice has been really raspy ever since. I was in a club, turned up, whatever, so sorry, ignore my voice, but yeah, so I'm starting production. So everything's interfaced. So these are my front and back pieces. They're interfaced, as you can see, it has a good shape to it. This is the back. And so the first thing that I'm gonna do is I have this template right here. If you've seen me do any designs where I have to do overlays, quilting, you know what this is. So this is a little template. So what this does is it goes on top of my actual fabric piece. And then I had holes that I punched out on here. So through the holes, I'm gonna take a chalk pencil and just dot each line and then connect them once I take this off. And then those lines are gonna be where I line all the fur pieces up. And the reason why I do this template is just to make sure everything is lined up correctly and cohesive throughout the whole entire piece instead of trying to eyeball it and do it that way. So that's the first thing I'm gonna do. And I am a little nervous for this project. I did decide last minute to take piping out of the design just because I realized with the fur, on the bottom of the bag, it's gonna kind of cover a little bit of the piping, so it's gonna look like blotches of piping throughout the bag. So the areas where the fur isn't gonna be, you're gonna be able to see the piping, but the area that the fur is, you won't be able to see it. So it's gonna look a little weird. So I was like, you know what, let's just take the piping out altogether. So I'm not doing piping on this bag. And then the fur is just messy. Like working with faux fur, I don't know if real fur is like this, but faux fur is really messy. It sheds a lot. So we're gonna see how this is. Hopefully it's not too bad of a project. I don't know, child, it might be a little crazy, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start doing the outlining, sewing on the faux fur on the front and the back, and yeah, let's do that. All right, so I zoomed in really close so you can kind of see pretty much what I'm doing to sew this fur on. So with fur, you want to make sure you're moving the fur out of the way. So I'm pushing it, I'm taking my pointed stiletto and I'm pushing the fur out of the way so that it lays flat, and then I'm sewing, because normally fur, you know, lays like that, and then if you just sew directly on it, it's gonna just have a line through the fur. So you don't want to sew your fur, you want directly on top of the fur. You want to make sure you're moving it kind of out of the way and getting it as flat as possible. Same thing goes for like when you're sewing in into seams. You want to make sure you're pushing it out of your seams just to get a nice clean look when you turn everything right side out. And I'm kind of glad that I have a little bit of experience sewing with faux fur, because in high school I used to work with faux fur quite a lot. So this is not my first time sewing or cutting it, and I'm glad it's not, because if it was, I probably would not be doing this right now, because if I didn't know these few little tips and tricks from working with it previously, I would probably want to cry. Actually, I would be. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of show you what I'm doing to sew this on. So pushing it out of the way to get as flat as possible, and then sewing it down. So yeah. All right, so it's been a few hours later. I finally have all of the fur pieces on and it looks so dope. So this is the front piece, and now what I'm gonna go ahead and do is, I don't know if you can see on the camera, but I have this little dot right here. This is where the magnetic snap is gonna go. I didn't put the magnetic snaps on yet because I wanted to do it after I put the fur on, because I just thought it would be a little bit easier. But before I started, I accidentally almost started putting this one on and then realized, oh wait, I need to wait. So this one's already kind of prepped, but I have to do this one. And then these are the back pieces. They look super dope. So far we are at 3 hours and 18 minutes and 21 seconds. And all I've done is just sew these on. It actually took quite a long time. And you can see kind of where I had to stitch the fur on. So I'm going to put the magnetic snaps in, and then I'm also going to do my nameplate, which is I have the fur backing piece and then the actual nameplate piece that's going to go on the fur backing. So hopefully that's not too crazy, but yeah, let's do that. All right, so it's been a little while later. I sewed on the fur base and the name tags, and doing the name tags, I had to redo that like a good 3-4 times just because it was actually really difficult. But it looks really good right now. So this is what we have so far. So it's the nice fur, and then we have the base of the fur, and then the actual name tag sewn on top of it. So I really love this design, and it looks really good. I think it's gonna look amazing once everything is done. So now that I have the front pretty much all done and prepped, I'm gonna go ahead and start on the fur for the bottom gusset. Now for this one, I have to actually sew the fur pieces together to make one long piece. And the reason why I cut them like that is because I'll show you. So if the fur is like this, right? And then once it's folded as a gusset, you can see the fur kind of goes in different directions. So this way the fur is kind of pointing up, and this way the fur is kind of pointing down. So I have to sew them together. I cut separate pieces and sew them together so that once there's one piece, they both kind of go in the same direction. Because if I do it, just have one long piece and then do it that way, it's gonna look really weird, especially when I go to put the handles on or the straps onto the bag. It's gonna look weird because the fur on both sides is gonna be going in different directions. So I'm gonna go ahead and sew these pieces together, put them on the actual gussets, and then I also have the fur to put on the strap, which the fur on the strap, I'm leaving that. I'm not sewing that together. I really don't mind that kind of going in different directions because it's going to be on the strap. I think it actually might look a little cool. Plus, I'm going to put rivets on it, so it's going to hold the fur down in the first place, so it's not really going to make that much of a difference. But I'm going to go ahead, start on this, sew those together, and then that's what you're going to see. All right, so it's the next day, and I kind of realized that I don't like how this looks on the bottom. And the reason why I don't like it is because, again, I cut those two separate pieces and sewed them together so it can kind of look like it's going all in the same direction. But when I cut these pieces out, I kind of cut the bottoms and cut off the fur a little bit because I thought it would blend a little bit more seamlessly, but I don't like how it looks because, you know, it just looks weird. So I cut out new pieces, and this time I'm not going to cut the ends and kind of make them look flat like how that is. So I'm gonna leave the ends just regular, but I'm still gonna kind of, you know, cut the edges just to have the least amount of fur on the side so it's not too much. So I'm gonna go ahead, seam rip this off and fix that, and hopefully it looks a little bit better. You'll probably still be able to see a little bit of a line, but it won't look as unnatural as this. And it looks a lot, I don't like how it looks when it's actually, you know, how it's going to be looking on the back, because it's going to bend and this is going to be really noticeable, and I don't like how that looks. So I'm going to redo that, and yeah. Alright, so I went ahead and redid the bottom gussets, and as you can see, it's still a little bit of overlapping, but that's normal considering that it's two different directions of fur clashing against each other. But when it's actually kind of folded over gusset wise, it doesn't look too bad. I don't think it would look that bad, especially if I were just to give it a little bit of combing. I probably could have left a little bit of extra fur down there, but honestly, once it's kind of all blended as together, I don't think it will look that bad. So I'm gonna leave it like this. It looks a lot better than what it did before, even though it does have that seam, but I did sew two pieces of fur together, so of course it's gonna have that. So now what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to actually start on the handles. I'm trying to grab the pieces right now. These are all of my handle pieces. So the way that I'm doing my straps or handles, whatever I want to call them on these, is a little different than how I normally do them. So it's two separate pieces. So what it's going to be like, because I'm sewing fur on the top of the strap, there's going to be fur, and I don't want the stitches to show on the underside. I just don't think that would be a good look. I separated my strap into two separate pieces. So we have the top side and then we have the underside. So pretty much what I would do is, before I sew everything together, I'm going to take my first strip that's going to be on the top side, sew it down, and then I'm going to take the underside and sew that all together so that the stitches won't show on the underside. And this technique is used for like in bag making, if you want to do a double-sided strap, like if you want your straps to be separate colors on each side, you can use this method. Normally I use it to where, you know, you just fold it over like 4 times and it equals out to be one long strap. But this way you can separate it into two pieces, sew it together, and then it makes one strap. So I'm gonna go ahead and baste all of the fur pieces on the top and then sew all the straps together. And I hope everything looks good. I think it should be. And again, I'm not breaking the fur up in 2 pieces. I'm doing 1 piece of fur for the strap, and I think it actually looks really cool like this. And I'm putting rivets on top of the fur, but I'm kind of debating if I just want to leave the rivets out, because I kind of think this would look so dope like this, and the fur is just sticking up in all the places. So I don't know, I kind of figured that out, but I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so I have both of these straps done and sewn together. They look so dope. So as you can see, it has the fur along the exterior and it looks really cool. But on the underside, oops, I was gonna say it's nice and clean, but clearly it's not because it has fur shaving. But it's nice and clean. You don't see any stitching from when I had to sew the fur on the top part, which is why I wanted to make the pieces separate and then sew them so you don't see any of the stitching. But it looks really dope. I'm loving it. I think this is going to be such a dope detail. So now what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to start sewing together the little the little flap portion of this bag. So these are the pieces right here for the flap. So really I just have to sew them right sides together and then turn them right side out, top stitch them, all that stuff. And then I have to sew these to the back exterior pieces and top stitch those, which I hope sewing these is not too hard, and top stitching on top of it, because I have that fur on the back and I don't know how sewing on that's going to be, sewing and top stitching on that's going to be. So hopefully it's nothing too crazy and too bad. And I only use Decaville light on the top piece of the flap. I didn't use it on the underside. So because this denim is already kind of like a stiff, really sturdy denim, so I didn't want it to be too crazy stiff, especially because this is a really small pattern piece. So with the smaller pieces, I try not to make them super stiff because they're really hard to turn right side out that way. So I'm gonna go ahead and sew this together, and that's what we're gonna do. So let's do that. All right, so I'm pretty much finished with the exteriors. They are looking amazing. I love it so much. And I think this is gonna be so dope. I've never seen anything like this before, which is what I'm also excited about. So now all that's really left for me to do for the exterior is sew this bottom gusset to the front and back exteriors. So that's what I'm about to go ahead and do. Hopefully it's not too crazy. I don't think it is. I know I'm gonna have to push this fur out of the way when I'm sewing it together. But that's to really be the only crazy thing about it. So I'm gonna go ahead, start sewing that up, and let's get into that. All right, so I finished sewing on the gussets to the front and back exteriors, and it wasn't really too difficult. It was kind of a challenge, a little here and there. I had to seam rip a few parts and redo it, mostly the curves. But this is kind of what it's looking like on the inside. It's looking really furry. You probably can't see too much. I'm not going to turn them right side out yet because, again, the way that I attach my linings, I have to have the exterior inside out pretty much. So this is kind of what it's going to look like when I go ahead and add this strap on, which is so dope. I'm kind of trying to get an idea of what it's actually going to look like finished from it being inside out, but I think it's going to look so cool. And everything is just coming out so dope. I can't believe that I know how to do stuff like this. But now that I have this done, I'm gonna grab the pieces. I'm gonna start on the lining, and I'm using this really nice kind of creamish eggshell. No, it's not an eggshell. It's like a off-white creamish color. I've used this color a lot. I haven't used it in a while actually. But it's like this off-white creamish color. I used to use it a lot. I normally use it with this shade of denim. And then I'm gonna do zipper pockets on the inside, interior zipper pockets, and this is the color that I'm gonna go for, which is like a chocolatey brown with an antique brass zipper. And I already have all of my name tags and everything embroidered. And for the name tags for the inside of my zipper pockets, this time I decided I normally embroider this out on 100% cotton muslin, but this time I decided to use what is it, natural denim. So it's like a unbleached denim. It's the same denim that I use to test my actual pattern piece on. So I'm kind of excited to try how this sews on. It's probably going to look a lot better, a little bit more thicker, better quality. And this is my interior name tag, says Rovel Gaither. That's what I'm going to use. So on, it has the off-white cream color stitching and it's black denim. So I'm going to go ahead and start on the lining first. I have to do zipper pockets, attach my interior logo, and then do slip pockets and all that good stuff. So I'm gonna start sewing up the lining, and let's do that. All right, so it is the next day. I went ahead and finished up the linings. So this is kind of what it's looking like, you know, super dope. We have the zipper pocket back here that looks really good. I love the color on that. I think it looks so dope, and I think it's gonna look really nice paired everything together. The inside, when you open it up, it has the tag that says made by Revel Gaither, and then it has my interior logo back in there, and then on this side it has the little slip pocket. So I did leave a hole in the bottom to kind of turn the whole bag right side out through, and I might have to seam rip a little bit more to make the hole bigger in case it's not big enough to turn everything right side out through, but we'll see when that time comes. So now what I have to do is go ahead and attach the linings to the actual bag exteriors. So that's what I'm going to do next. Attach those, top stitch, and pretty much close off the linings, and then from there it's going to be attaching the handles, and then that's it. So it's been a crazy 3 days so far. The project hasn't been really difficult. It has definitely been like working with fur. This is a really new it's not a new textile for me, but working with it in bag making is new for me. So I'm really stepping way out of my comfort zone. And you know, it was a whole challenge just figuring out how I wanted everything to look, how I was gonna work with the fur, add it on here, shape, you know, just doing everything. So it's been a really crazy 3 days of production, but pre-production and designing, that was like, it's been like a whole week and a few days since I've been doing it. So I'm about to start with the lining, attaching it to that, top stitching and all that, and then that's what you're gonna see. So let's do that. All right, so I went ahead and sewed the lining to the bags and top stitched them, and it was definitely a little bit of a challenge doing this. It wasn't crazy, but you know, it was the first time I was top stitching. I had to restart, do it over, and I had to actually go in and use staples, which is my first time stapling for top stitching. But I think I'm gonna start doing that actually, because it keeps the lining from sliding so it doesn't go a little over the seam, so you don't kind of top stitch the lining too high up. So I think I'm gonna start doing that because it worked really well. But now what I have to do is go ahead and rivet the straps and handles on. Now I did try a little bit to press the bags. It's kind of hard to press because you don't want to really heat the fur because it can melt and things like that and damage it. So I didn't want to really go over it too much with iron. But this is kind of what it's looking like. I really wish though that I wouldn't have cut the edges of these fur pieces like this. I really wish I would have just left them regular. I think it would have a lot more of a better look that way, but it still looks really nice. I'm loving the design, and then this is how the back looks. Super dope. So again, I have to go ahead and do the rivet. With this design, I'm not sewing the handles on. I'm just going to add a rivet on here. So I'm going to put a rivet right there, and then again, I do want to do a riveted design on the fur, so it's going to go all the way around, which I've never done a rivet this way because you're going to be able to see it through the interior. There's going to be a rivet on this side that's connecting the handle to the actual bag. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and that's what you're gonna see. So let's go ahead and do the final thing, which is the strap. All right, so Future Rovell doing a voiceover again. So I actually had quite a bit of difficulty putting the rivets on the handle, just because putting rivets on fur was more difficult than I thought it would be, and I actually stopped recording a little bit earlier because I was having trouble. But I didn't end up doing the riveting detail along the handle because you couldn't even see the rivets on the fur because the fur kind of covered it. So I just left that out and I stopped filming a little early, so I just wanted to let y'all know that. Alright, so it is now a few days later. I'm currently set up to take my product photos right now. The bag looks freaking amazing. I need to get some new photography paper though, because this one is definitely on its last leg. But I have my studio lights set up. I'm using my DSLR, the ones that I used to film on. I have all my lighting set up. And yeah, so it's a few days later. Yesterday I posted the bag to my story and it went crazy. So I got 3,413 story views, which is absolutely crazy, and 671 people reacted to it, which is never happened. It's normally like 200, 300. And I got so many story replies of everyone loving this bag. And it's crazy because once I finished the bag and I looked at it, I was like, I don't really know if I like it or not. But everyone freaking loved it. And they said that it almost looks like a Yorkie, which is crazy because I have a Yorkie. It's just so dope. So I'm about to take my product photos right now. I'm set up to do that. So let's go ahead and take some photos. All right, so it has been a few days later. Everything is pretty much done. I'm still doing a little bit of work behind the scenes to get the products ready to drop. I'm planning on dropping them on Friday, and today is Sunday, January 22nd. So I have about 5 days left to get everything ready, but I have all my product photos taken, edited, and everything. I would last filmed me taking the product photos. I have some on my phone. I'm gonna pull them up and show you. They look so freaking amazing. Like, I literally can't believe the stuff that I'm making these days. Like, it's just mind-blowing. So this is one of the first ones. She looks amazing. This is the side view. This is the back view. That's the side view, and I don't think I have the bottom view on there. I don't, but it came out amazing. I have everything loaded in on my website. I just finished breaking down the product, the pricing, and all that stuff. So let me go ahead and show the bag, talk about it a little bit, and just get into it. Okay, so this is the finished product of the bag. She looks freaking amazing. I love her so much. She really is a statement piece. Like, this is really one of those bags that it's not a bag that you wear every day, but it is really a statement piece when you pull it out and you do pair it with an amazing fit. So this is the back. She looks really dope, and I'm really glad that I decided to do the detailing through the front and back. I think it just looks really good. And then this is the side, you know, it has the fur going all along the gusset. And this is what I meant when I said the bottom of the bag is gonna have like this little overlapping, because this is where I sewed the two pieces of fur together, so it's kind of clashing. But I almost kind of like this little kind of tail almost. I feel like it adds a little bit to the bag, and it just looks really cool. And then we have the strap as well. I don't know if this is focusing. I really hope it is. We have the strap as well that has the fur detailing on there as well. So this is what it looks like. She's dope. And then I'll show the inside. So again, I went ahead and went with the cream off-white color. It's waterproof on the interior. It has a zipper pocket back here, and when you open up the zipper pocket, it has a tag that says, if I can freaking open this, that says made by Rovell Gaither. So the inside is also detailed. And then on the other side of the bag, we have a slip pocket, so you can fit some stuff in this side right here. You open this up, so it has a slip pocket, center compartment, and then the zipper pocket on this side. And this is normally what I do for all the interiors of my bags. I normally try to keep it as simple as possible. So really, normally my bags have a zipper pocket, interior slip pocket, and that's it. Sometimes I'll add like a card holder, slot, and all that type of stuff, but that's normally it. And I'll go ahead and try it on so you can kind of see. Ignore my outfit, it doesn't go with it at all. But this is what it looks like on. She she's really just a statement piece, like I said. And I love the fur. It's almost like, and it's so cool because again, people said, oh, it's kind of like a Yorkie. And it's so cool because you can literally comb this bag. And I just sit all the time and just, I find myself just sitting and just combing the fur, because every now and then, you know, depending on how often the bag is worn, when you wear this bag, you're definitely gonna have to comb it, probably while wearing it throughout the duration of you wearing it, because the fur will go in opposite directions. But with each order, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna get some cute little mini combs that I'm gonna try to find some that match the bag. I'm gonna get cute little mini combs and include those in the order with it, so you can have a comb with the bag to comb it and all that stuff. And I think that'll be so cool. But this is the final product. She looks amazing. I love it so much. Everyone else is loving it as well. This is definitely a piece that's becoming one of my favorites, and it's so crazy because when I finished making this bag, it's not that I didn't like it. I do this a lot with my designs. It's not that I don't like them. It's just I'm kind of like, I'm really hard on myself. First off, I want to just make that clear. I'm very hard on myself design-wise. Because I just really have high expectations for me, my skill in my craft and what I do, and I take this very serious. So when I make something, I expect the best that I can make. So when I finished this bag, I was kind of like, I don't know if I really like it like that. I liked it, but I wasn't like, I love it. But normally it takes me like 2 to 3 days to sit with the design, look at it, stare at it, and it grows on me. And I'm like, okay, this is really that grow. Like, this is really the bag right here. And that's what happened with this one. So the day after I had finished making it, I was kind of like, I don't know. I liked it, but I was like, I don't know. And when I posted it to my story, everyone was like, this is crazy. Like, this is, I've never seen anything like this. And I normally don't let other people's opinions affect how I look at my own work. That's why sometimes, you know, I try to wait to put stuff out so I can get my own opinion about it. I liked it, but it wasn't like, I liked it, but I knew that it would take time to grow on me. But seeing other people's reactions to it as well also made me like it, because I was like, wow, this is very much so unique. Like, I'm just very hard on myself sometimes, but this is a really dope bag. I love it. At first, I wasn't liking how I cut the bottom of this, but that's also a part that grew on me. Like, I actually am glad that I did that, because it just looks cool. Like, even the things that I didn't mean to purposely do is what makes this bag so dope. So this is it. She's dope, she's cute. So this bag is going to be retailing on my website for $585. Yes, it is the most expensive bag that I've ever sold, but it's definitely worth it. I mean, $585 for this, like, come on now. And the dust bag and shipping is included in the cost. So that's how much this is going to be. And I would rate this project on a difficulty scale. I would give it about a 7.5. Yeah, about a 7. Honestly, it wasn't crazy difficult. Working with fur is just annoying in and of itself. So I would say that was really one of the hardest parts, was working with the fur. And then pattern making, that wasn't difficult because it's a simple bag design, like it's a simple shape and everything, but the detailing is really what makes it pop. So really it was working with the fur, I would say, that made this project difficult. So I give it a 7.5 out of 10 difficulty wise. And would I make this bag again? Maybe. I might. It wasn't crazy, it wasn't, you know, really too bad, but it was a challenge. It was definitely a challenge, and I like that I'm getting out of my comfort zone and trying different things. I really want to push myself to just do things that I normally wouldn't do. So this is the finished product. I'm calling this bag the new Yorkie bag. It is so, because it looks like a Yorkie, and when people brought that to my attention, I was like, you know what, it really does. So I'll call it the new Yorkie. It's so cute, and like, I just want to comb it all day. So I really hope you guys liked and enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Leave a comment down below, let me know what you think. If you watched all the way to the end, I know this video is probably going to be like an hour, so if you did, I really appreciate you watching through. I do want to show the full process moving forward. I don't know if I'm going to do it in parts so the videos aren't so long, but I definitely do want to start showing more of the full process. So I thank you for watching. Make sure you follow all of my social medias that will be linked down below in the description box, and make sure, I already said this, but like and subscribe, and make sure you hit that bell notification so that you can be notified when I do upload all my new videos, projects, and things like that, because I don't know if YouTube notifies people just by being subscribed. So make sure you hit that bell notification and stick around for all of the new stuff that I'm putting out. So I will see you guys in my next video, and yeah, deuces.